Xbox could be trying to expand Game Pass with some even bigger features, which I think would be very cool if they ended up doing this. We have another hire here. So Asha is filling out her team. So an interesting one there. Call of Duty. Could there be standalone games coming? There's an update on that story. So we'll go over that. Assassin's Creed, Ubisoft, they have changed leadership. And this is an interesting one. This may be trying to bring back some older people who know the franchise very well. So we'll talk about all of this stuff. But before we do, if you do enjoy daily gaming news and content, make sure to hit the subscribe, share, like, all that stuff. Now let's get into it. So as we know, over the last year or so, Xbox Game Pass has changed. A price increase, different tiers, different added value and features that have been brought to it, depending on if you like the stuff that they're adding. Like, for example, if you're a Fortnite player, obviously adding the Fortnite crew stuff in there is a great thing. But I don't believe this is the end of the changes to Game Pass. I think they will continue to put stuff in there, make it more valuable, all of those types of things to attract different gamers to subscribe if they look at the service and think, yeah, that's worth what I'd be paying. I'm going to be utilizing a lot of this stuff. And now Jez Corden here is talking about this, and he is saying they could be adding some WoW stuff, which I think would be a very, very smart move, especially if they are ever going to bring World of Warcraft to console. Like, that would be a huge thing here. But there's a couple of things he does mention. So here's what he does say. One thing I did hear, right? And I don't know if this would ever happen, but one thing I did hear, and this is something I get asked a lot, is they were exploring putting the World of Warcraft subscription and some of the other subscriptions they got, like Fallout First, Minecraft Realms, they were exploring putting that into Game Pass Ultimate. So I feel like, yeah, you put those in, you don't raise the price of Xbox Game Pass, the value for a lot more people goes up exponentially for Game Pass Ultimate. World of Warcraft, obviously the biggest one, but Fallout's, the Minecraft Realms, I think, would also be massive. And you're going to have a lot of people looking at that. With the amount of people that do play that game, would be very cool. I would like to see it potentially also spread out across the different tiers, though. Locking it all to Game Pass Ultimate does make me feel like it's inevitable that they would end up raising the price if they're adding all the stuff in. And then just, even if you look at it from the value perspective and you use everything that they're offering, if they raise the price again, there will be people that will not even take a look at that whatsoever, just because of the dollar amount. There's just a psychological thing to it. You go past that $30. I think even for some people, $30 is already hit that threshold, but you go past that, it's going to break the threshold for even more people. So I wonder if they would be able to kind of spread these out across the different tiers. Or I would think the best thing that they could do with Game Pass, and this would bring a lot more people in to the subscription, would be kind of an a la carte type style of thing, where you get to build your own tier and then pay a price for that. Like, if you don't want Fortnite crew, you can remove that and maybe not pay a certain amount. Stuff like that would be just a very consumer friendly thing. But we know at this point they're trying to get more users in it. They're trying to grow it. They've raised the price to the $30, and it seems like right now it's been helping more so than hurting, contrary to what people thought was going to happen based off of their recent financials. And so that we've been hearing about subscription growing, and I don't think it's because more people are subscribing to Ultimate, but it's like what I had predicted was that you're going to have people who just go to the lower tier more than the amount of people that are going to leave, and then the extra $10 that people would be paying for Ultimate is going to outweigh the amount of people leaving. It seems right now that is what is happening. We'll see how that does play out in the future, but I would love to see a couple more changes here. Give people more options onto exactly what they want within their subscription. Will they do it? Probably not, but it would be cool to see that. And I would love add more value to it, add more things like that, because right now they are hitting on the games. I will say that the games coming to Ultimate have been very good, and it's going to continue throughout the year. Now, Asha Sharma, the new CEO of Xbox, she's going to kind of hire people for a team and get a leadership behind her, because one of the things people have been debating about, I think it's kind of absurd, is that does she have to be this massive gamer to be the CEO of Xbox? The answer is no. You don't have to be a massive gamer to be a CEO of any gaming company. You're there to run a business and then try to expand it out and make the best decisions. There are going to be people under you that are hopefully knowing what gamers want and providing her with the right information to make the best types of decisions. I think that's far more important to have gamers in those roles, the people that really know what gamers want more so than the CEO. And she's going to be having people on our team that are going to be responsible for a lot of those decisions. Now she's hiring Craig Sinkota as the chief of staff. So he's going to be instrumental on who is going to be giving Asha the correct information to make the best decisions for Xbox. It says here that after 7 years at Xbox, and Coda left in 2013 to join Porch, he would not return to Microsoft until 2016, where he has remained ever since, and initially working on HoloLens before transitioning to Azure and then cloud and AI. And now with Sinkota stepping into the role of chief of staff for Xbox, the bigger question becomes what exactly that means. And while we can only speculate on the specifics of his role, it is worth taking a closer look at his career that did lead him here. So he works directly alongside the CEO, not public facing. And I feel like these execs got to stop trying to blend in and trying to be cool and get on people's good sides. Just give us good games, give us good services, give us a good console. That will speak more so than going on Twitter and then trying to appease all of the fanboys and the negativity surrounding it, the anime picture profiles that don't care at all about Xbox. Just give us good products. That's all that needs to be done. And it says here that he will be responsible for aligning departments around shared goals, supporting leadership teams, and helping structure key decisions, and also tracks priorities and progress across divisions, ensuring initiatives stay on course and leadership remains coordinated. So he has a big role here. Like, the people that are going to be supporting Asha potentially are more important than Asha herself. I know that sounds crazy, but like I said, those are the people that are going to be working more directly with the studios, with the games, with the developers, and providing the correct info to her so she gives Xbox the best opportunity to give the gamers what they want. And I feel like people thinking that she needs to be a gamer and have like a million gamer score don't really understand a lot how these corporate structures do work. So we'll see what happens, what this guy can do. We'll see if he does provide the good info to make the best decisions possible. One of the things I think Xbox absolutely needs to work on is having somebody making sure that games are developed in a timely manner and that all of the checkpoints are being hit, because we've seen that problem hit Xbox in the past and it has not gone well for them. You even take a look at, if you remember, Redfall and how bad that of a situation was. So we'll see what this guy is going to be able to bring to the table. All right, Call of Duty. There's always rumors surrounding it. Ghost of Hope is a very prominent Call of Duty leaker, and he's gotten tons of information correct. Call of Duty themselves has actually kind of pushed back subtly against one of his current rumors. There was a rumor here that there was going to be a standalone zombies game, which sounds cool. And I think a good idea, because those games, the zombies modes within Call of Duty themselves are basically their own games, and there's so much that they could expand upon if they did make it its own game, and I think a lot of people would love it. But specifically claimed that the idea of a standalone Call of Duty zombie game has been considered by Microsoft, and they say reportedly it would presumably be developed by Treyarch and released alongside the next mainline Call of Duty game, which we know now, we believe it to be Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 from Infinity Ward. We've also seen rumors and heard stuff about Call of Duty potentially moving away from being a yearly release, being more agile in the way that they do develop these games. And I think that needs to happen with Call of Duty. I think that would be a very smart move. You don't need to release a new one every single year. You just need to bring new content. And if you, on the business perspective, you're looking at that, it's like if you could monetize those games for a longer period of time, I think that would actually benefit Call of Duty more, and then give gamers even more time to play games that they spend so much money on a yearly basis. And then it would build even a bigger hype cycle for the next Call of Duty that does come out. I feel like Call of Duty Black Ops 7 may be that game that pushes it more towards that, but we'll see. It says here that the rumor factory is working overtime. This ain't it. It's a Call of Duty team's franchise main account. Notably, this denial comes just single days after the rumors of zombies only release began to spread, which has been going very, very fast. And they, soon after the denial was posted, the Ghost of Hope shared a response criticizing how quickly Call of Duty shut down the rumors and ultimately standing by their original report, saying everybody will forget about them lying in a few years when this stuff comes true. Saying here, whoever at COD PR came up with denying almost any rumor put out by anybody besides data mine stuff is a genius, makes leakers look like fools, and everybody will forget about them lying in a few years when this stuff comes true. They know what they're doing. I'll give them that. So he's basically saying the people denying it are lying and that this game is going to be coming out. I think it would be a good move, honestly. I wouldn't be shocked if it did end up happening, but we'll end up seeing right now. There is that pushback between leakers and Call of Duty themselves. Xbox, everything gets leaked through Xbox. They're not very good at keeping information in-house before it does come out. Even if you think about the whole Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond situation, the reason that announcement came out on a Friday, which threw everybody off guard and then had people asking even more questions about what really happened because of the timing of the press release for it, is because everything gets leaked, and IGN was about to leak that, and now we're seeing more stuff with Call of Duty. So it's just they're not very good at keeping information in-house. Assassin's Creed, new leadership is taking over for the game itself, and it makes me very optimistic. I actually like the series still. I play all of the games, and I think Assassin's Creed Shadows was a great game, but there's definitely things that have gone a little long in the tooth that they need to be improved upon, all that stuff, and it may be heading in that direction because of this new leadership that is taking place here. So it says here, Assassin's Creed has new leadership taking the helm, and the names they're listing are nothing but promising. So we have Martin Schelling, the head of the AC brand, Jean Gouzdon, head of content, Francois Debilly, head of production excellence. And this is what they do say. We want to take a moment to share some important updates about the future of Assassin's Creed. We know that what comes next has been a big topic within the community lately, and today we can finally share some updates, starting with the introduction of newcomers to the leadership team that will shape the future of the franchise. You have Mark Schelling, who was, again, appointed head of brand and will be the leader of the franchise team. And then what he has done, which is a big thing, is that he previously worked as the producer and senior producer on many defining titles, including Revelations, Black Flag, Origins, and Valhalla, which, I mean, Black Flag was from Origins, I think potentially is the best of all of the open world games that they have put out. So that is promising to see. Now he's going to be the head, so he knows Assassin's Creed. He knows where to bring it. And then we have Jean Gouzdon, and he is the head of content. He also was the creative director on Black Flag and Origins. Again, two of my, like what they say here, I agree with them. These are two of my favorite entries in the entire franchise. And then we have Francois Debilly, who is the head of production excellence. So yeah, we'll see what happens here. To me, this seems like a good leadership team. It seems like Ubisoft is trying to kind of pull back and go back to their roots, especially when you hear about the rumors about the remake of Black Flag, and that is going to be releasing at some point in the future. They're trying to get the old AC fans back on board, which a lot of them don't like the direction that the franchise did go. And we'll see. I like the open world RPG ones. Yeah, there's stuff that is repetitive and can get boring and stuff at times, but I usually put in tons of hours into each one of them. I think they do build beautiful worlds, and I also like the smaller games. Like I thought Mirage was a decent game as well. So we'll see where AC does go next. Apparently they have many games in the works for it right now. We have some more shutdowns, and then the opening of a studio that made some cool games. It's back. We'll talk about that first because this is pretty cool. New Radical Games. Looks like it's back. And if you've ever played Simpsons Hit and Run, which is a really, really fun game, I'm pretty excited to see exactly what they're going to be able to do here going forward, exactly what type of games they are going to be making. We don't have any really information on this other than the website popped up, and it's New Radical Games, and it is a new website, it seems like, which would give me some optimism that this is coming back. It says New Radical Games describes itself as radical entertainment plus hothead games, implying that the new company is successor to both defunct studios, which was founded in 1991. Some of the games that they're a part of back in the day were Simpsons Hit and Run, the Prototype series, The Incredible Hulk, Ultimate Destruction, Scarface, The World Is Yours, Crash Tag Team Racing, and the NES versions of Wayne's World. So yeah, that is a nice list of games. If you played any of those, they're just really fun. And they do mention here that they're open to co-develop with other studios, as well as handling porting or remastering of an existing studio. So New Radical Games, they've opened up a new website, and just kind of out of nowhere, it does seem like. Specifically, they do mention here that when it was acquired by Vivendi in 2005, and then Activision in 2008. Then by the end of 2013, the studio had essentially closed in all but name, but the Canadian government dissolving its incorporated status and a few remaining staff assisting on other Activision products. Now, both studios appear to have been resurrected as New Radical Games, with Ian Wilkinson as CEO and president, and Tim Benenson as the COO. And so we'll see what happens here. If they're able to get work, if they're able to expand out, build their own games, potentially co-develop, remake, remaster. I feel like remake and remaster may be what ends up happening with them going forward, or definitely just being support studios for games that are currently in development. Amazon is shutting down another game here. Former Lionhead devs King of Meat. So this is being shut down here. This is developed by the UK-based Glowmade, founded by former Lionhead members. The co-op platformer launched for consoles and PC in October as a premium game, and they're shutting it down. It didn't find an audience, which is not shocking. Lots of games don't find audiences these days. Amazon Games isn't going to waste money trying to keep them and trying to revitalize them and keep them alive. But they do say here, despite the creativity and innovation Glowmade brought the King of Meat, the game was unfortunately has not found the audience we hoped for. As a result, we have made the difficult decision to conclude our investment in the game, and King of Meat servers will close on April 9th, 2026, and players will be able to access and play all existing content until then. So we encourage you to enjoy your remaining time in the game with your fellow contenders. So that one is being shut down. Amazon Games, I feel like, has not been very successful with their launch into AAA gaming, and we'll see what else happens from there. But we're also in a time where the industry this is what it's all about. It's like they don't give games very long or very big chances. If they're not finding an audience, they're closing them down. We also remember what happened with Concord, and that's not going to be the only game that I think that does happen to. And the fact that High Guard is still live right now is a little bit shocking. We'll see if anything happens with that going forward. But on the video there, if you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.
We'll be right back.